So I try not to put too many movie clips or anything like that in my video reviews because first of all, it's really hard for me to make a review like this while balancing so many different things I want to do and all that. So try to keep it simple and sweet. Also, worried about copyright, and that's the last thing I want to stop me from making these videos. But I do try to find a game or something related to the movie that I watched. And last video was a Superman review, and Superman just came out in Fortnite, so I thought that was funny, so I added that. For this movie that I was just seated for, I have no idea what to put in. So enjoy coloring pixels of the moon, because I really do not know how to explain the movie I just watched. I was just seated for Eddington, new movie directed by Ari Aster, who is also known especially for the movies Hereditary, Midsommar, Beau is Afraid, and the one movie where it's about this son forcing his dad to do things. I can't even say it out loud. It's really fucked up, but yeah, and so yeah, I was just seated for that, and for Eddington. I did not watch the other thing. I regret. I don't even think I logged that movie on my letterbox because it was just so weird. But yeah, Eddington is I don't see. We started with Superman last week, and that was fun because Superman's a good movie. This is I don't even know if I can say it's entertaining. I started these reviews with should you go see this movie or not? And I think unless you want to watch a movie where you have no clue what's going to happen next, I don't really think there's a reason to watch this movie. It's not terrible, and it's not like offensively bad, which there are a lot of those that exist. I'm sure if I went to review Jurassic World Rebirth, that would probably be extremely offensive and I would like hate it forever. So I didn't do that to myself. But it's if you like being not coddled or anything into like, oh, I know what's going to happen, because that is a pretty unique feeling to have about a movie, and it's nice to not know what's going to happen. The biggest problem with this movie is that it's so long, 2.5 hours, and the good stuff only happens like 90 minutes in. And the first like half an hour or an hour is kind of interesting because you're like, oh, I kind of get it. It's like the sheriff Joaquin Phoenix beefing with Pedro Pascal, and it's kind of interesting enough to be like, okay, I want to see where this goes. But then it just drags on for way too long, and you already get the point that they're trying to make. But then you stay long enough, and shit just starts going off the walls. It's actually insane. And not even just that, you're kind of like, oh my god, how is this going to get solved? How is this? And then it takes an even bigger twist, and I'm like, oh my god. So, but even after the end of that, I wasn't like completely satisfied or anything. Like, yes, there were some crazy moments, but it left me feeling like I did with Beau is Afraid, which was the last Ari Aster movie I watched in the theater. And like, there were some cool moments in that movie, but it was just way too long. Now, I also want to say, people will think any movie that's 2.5 hours is way too long. But well, they bring back 90-minute movies. No, that doesn't have anything to do with it. If it's a good movie, 2.5 hours has nothing to do with it. But this was just, it was also really painful because the whole premise of this movie, it's set in a fictional town, I believe, of Eddington. It's in like New Mexico. And so it's like a really small town, and it's about the sheriff and mayor, and they're kind of beefing because of during the COVID pandemic. And I will tell you this, I mean, to be fair, this is like one of the few movies I think I can only think of a few movies that actually take place during COVID at all, because I don't think most people want to make movies about that or talk about it. The only other movie I can think of is like Drive My Car, where it's literally in the last like 10 minutes of that movie that you can tell they're in the pandemic. But yeah, it's not fun to relive all the political bullshit that was happening during that time. And it was just really miserable watching all that. I can completely understand. I think I saw a lot of articles where it's like people were walking out of this movie. And I thought it was because like Ari Aster was just doing weird shit or something. And to be fair, there's really not that much of that. Like, there's no giant penis monster like there was in I'll let you guess which one of his movies had that, but that was a thing. That was 100% a thing, and that was crazy. Not in a great way either. But anyways, yeah, so it just wasn't fun to relive all that stuff. Some of it was funny, yes, but like in the end, it just wasn't that great to think about how stupid people were back then. Although I do miss people being 6 feet apart from you. Anyways, yeah. So should you go see this? I think I already, I think I said that already. Only watch it if you feel like you want to be challenged and challenged in a way where you just don't know what's gonna happen next. But other than that, I left feeling pretty like underwhelmed, just whelmed in general. I didn't even really have any expectations. It's Ari Aster. He's an extremely weird guy, and so I expect something like. I'm not even the biggest fan of him. I don't really like Midsommar, and I do like Hereditary, but so far that's been his only like good movie in my opinion. Midsommar is pretty, and it's like a different, interesting concept of horror where it's in broad daylight, and it's like, but I just hate the cult stuff. Cult stuff is very boring to me now, unless it's done right. But yeah, this was just not. This will probably go down very low on my list just because Pedro Pascal. We're gonna get into spoilers now. My review is don't watch it. It's not really worth it. But the whole thing about this series is like I want to watch movies anyway, so I'm gonna go review them. And I think to the general public, you should not watch this. It's not worth it. But we're gonna get into spoilers now because Pedro Pascal is a very big name these days. I'm literally going to go see him be Mr. Fantastic in Fantastic Four this Thursday. Which, by the way, that review will come out that day too. He is in this movie barely. Like, he's an important part, like an important role, and I guess that's why they cast him. But he's had a history of being like the second name in a movie, like in the billing and stuff, and then he ends up being like in there not at all. Like I can think of Gladiator 2. He's barely in that movie. He does play an important part, don't get me wrong, but he's just like dude, he's barely in Materialist. And I never did a review for that, but like he's barely in that too. He has like the same amount of screen time in Gladiator 2, Eddington, and Materialist, but Eddington is probably like the least. So if you're watching it for Pedro Pascal, don't do, because he's not in it. He's really not in it that much. And yeah, I think I said a lot about how like they touch on COVID, and I almost forgot that like the whole George Floyd protests and all that stuff was during COVID, which is just such a crazy thing to think about, because there's such an emphasis on like people staying indoors and stuff, and then that happened, that brought people out. It's just not fun. And he doesn't have anything to say about it other than the jokes that, like, not even the jokes, but like the sad reality that people were just so stupid back then. So I know he's not trying. I know Ari Aster movies are not supposed to be like completely entertaining, although there are some like, what the fuck, like that's crazy parts in this movie. Other than that, it's just pretty miserable. Joaquin Phoenix's character is really pathetic, and he's just such a loser that it's really hard to like follow him as a protagonist, because like, you can follow protagonists that aren't great people, but at the same time, you just like, it does get to the point where you can be like, okay, how does he get out of this situation? Because that is always an interesting like thing. Does he get caught? Does he get, something else by that? But there's just like, from the beginning, you're not supposed to like him, and there's no redeeming qualities, and it's just really miserable, which I guess is Ari Aster's like MO. But yeah, I don't know. This is my first challenge for a review because I don't really have too many positive things to say about it. It's very negative compared to like the Superman review. And Superman, I was just so excited. I think I like talked about, I watched these YouTubers talk about it so many times and all that stuff. This time I just like read the Reddit thread because I was like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't even know that the people that were shooting at him at the end were supposed to be from the tech company. I thought they were like actually Antifa or something. I thought that message was like really weird. But if they were pretending to be Antifa, that makes a little bit more sense. To like frame it, all that stuff. But yeah, it's just I don't know. This will happen more. I do have a schedule of like what my next reviews will be if anyone is interested in that. And thank you all for listening to the Superman review. But we got Fantastic Four in 4 days. I will be watching The Naked Gun on July 31st. Weapons comes out on August 7th. And then I think I'll be watching Nobody 2 on August 14th. Which, by the way, I think I started Nobody with Mr. Better Call Saul, Mr. Oh my god, why can't I remember his name? Saul Goodman. Saul Goodman, played by. I love this actor though. I love him so much, but I don't remember what Bob Odenkirk. Okay, yeah, I'll be watching it. That trailer looks fun. It looks very different from the first one, but I think it'll still be fun. And it's kind of crazy that Bob Odenkirk is still like acting in that role. Like considering, I think actually he said that training for the Nobody movie, the first one, actually saved his life. So maybe that's why he's still doing Nobody too. But he's great. And I'm done with the Eddington review, so you can stop watching for that. I already gave my point on that, piece on that. But yeah, so Fantastic Four, I'll be the first one to review that because movies come out on Thursdays. I don't know if you guys know that. And I've also been watching a lot of other Superman media, not just like the newest one and stuff, but I watched Superman Doomsday, which is an animated movie. I also watched All-Star Superman because that's James Gunn said that was like one of his like biggest inspirations for the movie. And so Man of Steel too. I also watched Man of Steel for the first time, and boy do I have a lot of things to say about that. So maybe in between now and the Fantastic Four review, I will drop my Superman related media review just because there's so many things I want to talk about. I've never cared about Superman until that movie. That's how good that was. But I also like don't want to drag on the Superman thing for too long. So releasing this in between this and Fantastic Four, or whatever, however way you do it. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, listening. I haven't streamed in a minute. I was at a camping trip. It was really fun this weekend, but I will try to do that this weekend, so maybe people can come in and watch. But I think I'm getting a little bit better at this. I didn't mention. No, if I do mention it now, then I will be mentioning reviewers like twice. But just trying to do my own thing here. And it's fun. Shout out to Jake Baldino because I think his style of doing things is like kind of what I'm trying to do, and it's like really cool. He's a cool guy. I actually haven't listened to his reviews on Super. I gotta watch that video. But yeah, thank you so much. Catch me on Twitch, and Eddington is a movie you can skip. Final nail in the coffin for that. But I'll talk to you later, and have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Oh shit, that's a team. Oh god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. One v 3, let's fucking go. Oh my god, they're so ass.